the University of Pittsburgh.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for having me. This is truly a pleasure. I'm honored to come back home, to be able to come back home and be with all of you today. Chancellor Nordenberg, the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the university community, and all the graduates of 2008 class. I want to say this is truly an honor. It is truly an honor. I graduated in 1983, and you do the math, that's 25 years, and I can tell you it's gone by really fast. When I came to Pitt as a freshman, I really had only two goals, and one of those goals was to be the starting quarterback. And the other goal was to graduate. And I promised my mother that I would do that. And I was fortunate enough to accomplish both goals. And today you ought to all be very proud of what you've been able to accomplish and that you are Pitt graduates. You can give yourself a hand if you want. That's all. That's all. But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine receiving a doctorate in journalism and in broadcasting. But now that I have it, I'll be sure to let my colleagues know on CBS Inside the NFL that today shows Shannon, Boomer, James Brown, and Coach Cowher now that they have to refer to me as Dr. Dan. And Chancellor, I want to thank you again because I believe I'm going to ask for a raise. How many of you watch the show? Hopefully, yeah, all right. It's on Sundays in the fall at noon to 1 o'clock, so please, all of you, keep watching, keep the ratings up so I can keep my job. I'm a true Oaklander, and this is truly an homecoming for me. As some of you might know, I grew up with the Cathedral of Learning only a short walk from my family's home. And as a kid, I played football in Shenley Park and baseball in Shenley Park and on the grass at the Cathedral of Learning. To be honest, there wasn't much grass on my street in Parkview Avenue in South Oakland. And it was funny why they called it Parkview Avenue, because there was no park and there definitely was no view. I've used that before, and I got to laugh too. Say, my entire family, going back to my great-grandfather, lived in Oakland. He was a street cleaner. My grandmother worked as a dentist assistant right on Atwood Street, right here in Oakland. My grandfather worked for J&L Steel, which is now the UPMC Sports Complex, and my dad, as the Chancellor mentioned, worked as a truck driver for the Post-Gazette. I grew up eating Dirty O hot dogs and Permane Brothers sandwiches, which I'm sure you've all had. So I'm truly a city boy here from Pittsburgh. I'm truly an Oaklander. We're here today at the Peterson Center on the site of the old Pitt Stadium. And as a teenager, I remember that I could never get a ticket to the games. But I knew guys from the neighborhood, guys on the ground crew, that would actually sneak me into the games. So, Chancellor, I probably owe you guys some money for that. But I remember watching Tony Dorsett and the '76 team that won the national championship. And as a teenager, walking in Oakland, seeing Tony walk on campus with his Pitt Letterman jacket on. And at that time, that's when I really became a true Pitt fan. I've had so many great memories as a student athlete, going to 4 bowl games while I was here, and especially the '82 Sugar Bowl, coming from behind against Georgia, was one of our biggest wins. My touchdown pass to downtown John Brown in the final seconds was probably my greatest memory as a player here. And here's a freshman, when this was the old football field, my first game was against Kansas. My first pass was an interception. That wasn't such a great memory, but my second pass was a touchdown. So I looked at it like I was 2 for 2 with a touchdown, which for a freshman, his first start was pretty good. But I will tell you, my fondest memory was not only the games that I played here in front of my family and friends, but my dad. My dad could actually sit in the stands and watch me practice almost every day. That's something that was very special to me in my 4 years here at Pitt. And now today, 25 years after graduating, I'm standing here before you graduates, and I'm supposed to offer some thoughts as you go in to what my dad used to call the real world. Well, my dad never graduated from college, but he knew what the real world was all about. It was about family, hard work, passion for what you do. And he'd always say, you only get out of life what you put into it. But little did he or I know, the real world today would be a technology-driven society full of computers, text messages, emails, video games, multitasking, and my personal favorite, YouTube. But as much as the environment and the atmosphere of this campus has changed, the core values of life and success remain the same. They're hard work, passion, integrity, and most important, family. And family is especially appropriate today. All of you have someone in your life that has instilled these values and helped you get to this moment right now, sitting here with your caps and gowns. In fact, before this day is over, before all the fun and all the celebrating, make sure you thank your parents, your brothers and sisters, and whoever helped you get to this day, whoever helped you achieve the goal of graduating and moving on in life. Now, of course, the best way to thank them is to make use of your degree that you've worked so hard for. And for me, one of the most important things as you enter the real world is to find what you love to do. When I think back, I was lucky. I found my love for sports at a young age, and whether it was baseball or football, I found my true talent. I could throw. All the hours on practice field, all the days studying film, all the years working on my game, you know, it didn't seem like work to me because it was fun. It's what I love to do. It may take some of you longer, but it's worth the search to find your passion. There will be obstacles, there always are, to anything that's important. If you find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. So whether it's education, the arts, business, medicine, or politics, I encourage all of you to find what you love. So go after your passion, not simply a paycheck. It doesn't have to be all about the money. But I guarantee you this, if you love your life's work, the financial rewards will take care of itself. Just last week, there was a report that CareerBuilder.com, 84% of the people are unhappy at work. I found this pretty sad. So find what you love to do and have a passion for what you choose to do. I also want you to keep the personal touch in life. As I talked about before, you've grown up in the internet age, text messaging, emails, and you learn today incredibly different from how people learned 10 or 20 years ago. But the real world, like my dad would say, is about relationships and life skills. Look people in the eye as you shake their hand. Treat people how you want to be treated. It's about dealing with people and finding people you can trust. Know who they are, who you work with, what their interests are. Learn about their families. It's easy to live in a world behind computer screens. Working with people is reality in whatever you do. Looking back on my career, 4 years here at Pitt, 17 with the Miami Dolphins, football is a perfect example. It's a perfect example because it's the ultimate team game. It's where dozens of players and coaches with different personalities and different backgrounds and social situations and different roles on the team have to work together. On every day, you have to work together on every play for a common goal, and that's the key to success. So please don't lose the personal touch in life. Nurture your relationships, and they will come back to you 1,000 times over. The personal relationships you make will carry you through life. I also urge you to make a difference in your community. Wherever life takes you, give something back. And it doesn't have to be money. Give your time, give your expertise, give something of yourself. And for me, as the Chancellor mentioned, this hits home. In 1992, my son Michael was diagnosed with autism. Seeing what he had to go through opened my eyes to the needs of families and children with developmental disabilities. That led my wife, Claire, and I to start a children's hospital in Florida and a developmental center, which today sees 6,000 kids a month. I played 17 years in the NFL, and I've set every passing record possible. But you know what? A lot of them have been broken. But when you touch someone's life in a positive way, that will last forever. Believe me, nothing feels better than having parents come up to me and say that you're making a difference in my child's life. It was once said that a great use of life is to spend it for something that outlasts it. Well, give back to your community, and it will last forever. Today we talked about finding what you love to do, having a passion for whatever you do. We talked about how important family and relationships are and having an impact on your community in a positive way, and how core values of life and success never change. It's been 25 years since I've left Pitt, and the time has really gone by fast. We'll tell you, you only come by this way once. So when you look back on this day years from now, you don't want to look back and say, the potential was there for me, because only you will know in your mind and your heart whether you got the maximum out of your potential. Only you will know if you cut corners along the way, if you did just enough to get by in life. So when you look back in the mirror, don't look back and say, I wish I had. I wish I had worked harder. I wish I had followed my passion and followed my dreams. I wish I would have had made a difference in my community. You want to look back and say that I did the best I could, that I gave it my best shot, that I worked hard, followed my dreams, that I made a difference in people's lives. If you can do that, if you can look back and say that, you will have peace of mind no matter where life takes you. You may even be surprised where your dreams take you. I'm a perfect example of that. I came to Pitt when I was a freshman with two goals, to be the starting quarterback and to graduate. And now look at me. I'm Dr. Dan. I want to thank you for this honor. When I came in, I was getting chills walking up to the stage just to be back in this atmosphere. And it's just it's so special for me. Thank you very much to the class of 2008, to the entire university community. It was special. And some of you mentioned about Jim Carrey in the movies earlier. Well, right now, Jim Carrey would say, laces out, all righty then, and let's party. Congratulations, class of 2008.